Good afternoon. It is February 11th before the snowstorm, and I'm going to call to order the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust meeting of February 11th. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 28th meeting. They're in your packet. Are any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval? Please vote. And it's approved unanimously. Next up is the consent docket. Number of items on the consent docket. Most are amendments and change orders or pricing agreements. Are there any items on the consent docket that the trustees would like to pull for individual consideration? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent docket? And it passes. Next up is a concurrence docket. There are two items on the concurrence docket. Both say that there are no Aquit funds involved in the projects. That is incorrect. The first one has no Aquit funds involved in it. The next one has $1.6 million of Aquit funds involved in the sanitary sewer relocation project. So if we approve it, we should approve it with the amendment on the no Aquit funds portion of it. You want further explanation? Do you want to pull any of these items? What's the trustees' pleasure?
I'd prefer to approve them so that we can continue on with the bidding process, expedite that, and then do some remediation on the back end.
Okay. So you want to make a motion?
Sure, as soon as I get the opportunity to do that.
Okay. Any questions? Motion made, second. Any questions? Seeing none, let's vote. And it passes unanimously. There are no emergency contracts before us today, so we move to item 6, items for individual consideration. Up next is item A, is plans and specifications to be advertised for the balancing tank replacement at Atoka Pipeline Pump Stations at Colgate and Macomb. Larry Hare, are you going to come talk to us this morning? Oh, it's afternoon.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody's staying warm. Watch out for the icy streets. This project, as was mentioned before, will replace the 2 balancing tanks on the extreme ends of the Atoka pipeline at Colgate and Macomb. The other 3 tanks at Stonewall, Ada, and Conaway have already been replaced in a previous phase. Any questions? Any further comments?
Estimated price?
I would say about 16, 17 million.
Okay. Other questions? Is there a motion for approval? And it passes. Item B is a resolution authorizing general manager to designate general counsel, bond counsel, and financial advisor to negotiate agreements with the commercial paper letter of credit bank.
Mr. Chairman, these next 2 items are consistent with the explanation, the presentation that we received from Dennis Whaley with PFM at the last meeting, and Dennis is here to explain his recommendations on B and C.
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Whaley with PFM. We're the financial advisor to Aquit. Following up on the presentation that I did 2 weeks ago, we talked about certain instruments that could be beneficial to the trust in moving through their very large capital plan over the next 5 years. You have 2 items on the agenda today. One is an increase in the commercial paper program capacity. We're going to try to raise that from $350 million to $500 million. The second item has to do with a bank note program. Now, this would require an RFP to banking institutions to find out their interest in providing Aqua a bank note program. We're going to see if there is a bank that would provide that service, if not maybe multiple banks that would provide the level of capacity that the trust needs to get through these next few years. These two products, and we also talked briefly about extendable commercial paper, but these two products, CP and the banknote program, allow both appropriation capacity as well as spending capacity. So this seems to be the best path forward and also probably the fastest path forward. We would think CP increase could be done by midsummer and hope the banknote program could follow soon thereafter in late summer or fall. I think that's about it. If there's anything, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help.
So we're increasing it from 3 or 350 to 500?
We have 350 right now, and we would just increase to 500 with the current bank.
Questions for Mr. Whaley? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve item 6B? This is the resolution on the commercial paper. And it passes. Now we'll move to 6C, which Mr. Whaley did go over, and this is the resolution to issue an RFP and solicit quotes for a new tax-exempt bank note program.
Correct.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? A motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. Items from trustees.
Yeah, real quickly, I would just like to say I had the opportunity last week to go down and watch the construction on the pipeline. And I would like to thank the Aquit leadership and city staff for going down there with us and checking it out. It's pretty amazing. The scope of it, when you're down there looking at it or standing in the pipe, is pretty amazing. So, and the way that thing just sits there and continues to trudge along is awesome. So thank you all very much. I really did appreciate it.
I too had the opportunity to join Mr. Stone down there. It was it's an amazing, the logistics involved in putting it together and the size of it and the amount of pipe that was strung out was pretty amazing. We should do that again, but if we do it again, we should do it on a warmer day.
Yes.
All right. General manager reports. Mr. Browning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything other than the lake level update. We're doing very well this time of the year. Hefner is 4 inches above full pool. Draper is 3 feet below full pool. Canton is at full pool, which is amazing this time of the year. We drew down 3 feet last fall, and it has fully recovered. Atoka is 8 inches above full pool. McGee Creek, we have been making room for rainfall this spring, so we've been releasing a bit of water out of McGee Creek, but it's still 6 inches above full pool. So relatively speaking, all of our lakes, except Draper, they are completely full, and Draper's not far behind, so we're doing well.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody realizes that most of our lakes are water, for us, water lakes, with the exception of Canton and McGee Creek. And Canton and McGee Creek are both have a flood control portion of that. So if it gets too full, they just can't hold it. They've got to bring it back down so it can retain water for the next time it rains.
In the springtime, McGee Creek will pick up 10, 11 feet of water during the rains. So they have to make room for that capacity. So they'll start dropping the lake this time of the year in regards to the flood control component.
Anything else, Mr. Browning?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I'm not aware of any citizens that have signed up to speak. There's no further business before the trust, so therefore we are adjourned.